So today I wanted to show you how to make a yummy okra and tomato stew. So we have some ingredients here. We have okras, tomatoes, cilantro, onion, 1 or 2 bay leaves, and I like using this Greek oregano. It looks like a branch. It comes on the stalk, and you just have to pick this off and put it in your pot, whatever you're doing. I think it has a stronger, better flavor, this oregano from Greece. And I have some okra here that I cut up, but I wanted to show you how to cut it up. You cut off both ends and you chop it in about 1/4 inch slices or 1/2 inch, however you like. You cut off both ends like this. Okay, and we have cilantro. This is about a cup and a half. Onions. I use Himalayan salt because I like Himalayan salt. It's filled with minerals. And I'm going to use some cayenne pepper. I'm going to use some tarragon because I don't have savory on hand. I love savory because it has I think a mixture of thyme and rosemary flavor. But Dr. Sebi does not recommend rosemary, so I don't use rosemary. I'm going to use tarragon instead, and some red pepper flakes and some onion powder because I have a small onion here, so I'm just going to use some more onions. I'm going to add some onion powder because I have about 1 pound of okra that I'm using and a little over 1 pound of tomatoes. And just remember that everything that I use is organic, certified organic. I've been doing organic now for about 17 years. And this onion powder is organic and it's very lumpy, so you have to try to scrape it out. It's not that granulated onion powder that you get in the store that it's really garbage. You shouldn't buy that. You should buy powder and not granulated onion or whatever other powders that you might use. The reason why these powders are lumpy is because they don't have the chemical silicone dioxide in these powders, so it's lumpy. You just have to deal with it and scrape it out and get it out of the bottle as best as you can. So now we are going to start cooking, but before I do that, the fresh tomatoes that we're going to use, you have to put it in some hot water and let it sit in the water for about 2 or 3 minutes so that you would be able to peel the skin off like this, because we're going to be using fresh tomatoes and some of the marinara sauce that I showed you how to do, the basic marinara sauce. But the main ingredient is the fresh plum tomatoes, also known as Roma tomatoes. I think Dr. Sebi said that we should only use these Roma tomatoes or plum tomatoes and cherry tomatoes. So I'm peeling this off here, and then you chop it up. Remove this from here. And I like to remove the seeds, so I squeeze the seeds off or remove it with my fingers like this, because the seeds tend to be a bit bitter. And you chop it up like this. Okay, like this. So now we're going to start cooking our okra and tomato stew. So first of all, we're going to put some oil. So I would say 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil. Okay, grapeseed oil. High in antioxidants. Okay, and Dr. Sebi recommends grapeseed oil for cooking. Then I'm going to add my medium onion, chopped onion. This is our medium low to start. heat. We're going to move around our onions. Let it soften up a bit. I'm going to use about 2 teaspoons of salt, but like I always say, salt to taste, to your taste. I like to salt the onions. I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of salt. Then I like to add my bay leaf. Then I add my crushed red pepper, just like a pinch, but I like a lot of pepper, so I add a lot of pepper. I add about 2 dashes of cayenne. Well, that was more than 2, but you know, I love pepper. I love a lot of heat. Now we're going to add the peeled plum tomatoes. See, it's very watery. I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit. So we have our onions, our bay leaf, our spices, cayenne pepper, red pepper, salt. I'm now going to add the onion powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, a teaspoon of the tarragon, and 2 teaspoons of the oregano, this Greek oregano that comes on the branch that I love so much. And now I'm going to add my cup of, a cup and a half of cilantro. You can use parsley in this as well, if you like. I don't have parsley on hand. I don't use a lot of parsley. I use a lot of cilantro. I love the flavor. And then we're going to put in our, you know, this is about a pound of okra. So you basically just dump everything in there. It's about a pound of okra and a little bit, I have here for this recipe, a pound of okra and a little over a pound of tomato. And then I'm going to add a cup of water. 1 cup of water. And then the thing that's really going to add some color to this and some extra flavor is the marinara sauce that I showed you how to do. So I'm now going to add about 2 cups of marinara sauce. 1, oh, this is about 2 cups. This is a bit messy, but it's okay. That's home cooking. So if you don't add this marinara sauce, or if you didn't make marinara sauce and you want to do this dish, you could just buy tomato sauce in the can. Make sure it's organic, and you add your tomato sauce to this. Okay, you see the difference. You see how it looks by adding the marinara sauce. And that's it. We're gonna let this cook for 45 minutes to an hour until the okras are tender, and you don't want it to turn into mush. If you let this cook for more than an hour, it's gonna be mushy. And we're done. And sometimes I would add coconut milk to this. This is just another way of doing it. So you can add some coconut milk to this to just for another flavor. Okay, so we're gonna let this cook for 45 minutes, and then we'll get back and see what it looks like. So you see here, this is our finished product. This is our okra and tomato stew. You can see pieces of the tomato, you can see the okra, it's still intact. Do not cook this for more than 40 or 45 minutes, else it's going to turn into mush, because you want to see this is how it should look. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to fish out the basil leaves, but you know, I cannot find it, so I'm just going to leave it in there. This is home cooking for my family later today. So I'm just going to put this into my serving dish. Okay. So here we have our tomato and okra stew that I put here on the table for my family later. And I did see the bay leaf, so you fish it out. There's another one, but that's okay. I cannot find it. So make sure that you remove the bay leaf. It's just for flavoring and not for eating. So again, you can see the chunks of tomato and the okra. You can see it here. And like I said, you can do a variation of this with coconut milk, which is what I do mostly. Because being from the Caribbean, we use coconut. We put coconut in everything. And as far as I'm concerned, everything tastes better with coconut. But this is just another way of doing it. And I hope you try this dish with your family, because it is so yummy. Okay, so take care and don't forget to subscribe and be healthy.